The last time Brett Saberhagen played in a Major League game, he was center stage in Game 4 of the 1999 American League Championship Series. That was 648 days ago. Since then, his career has been in constant jeopardy, characterized by months of pain, strange destinations, and never-ending uncertainty. Brett Saberhagen was always one pitch away from the end of a brilliant career. Tonight, he makes what he hopes will be a triumphant return to Fenway Park after 21 months.
I'm not Seattle Slew anymore, but I'm not, the donkey out in the pasture. So I'm somewhere in between. I still got some innings left, I think, and like I said, you gotta ride me while you can.
Brett Saberhagen continues his Major League Baseball career next. Fox 25 Sports welcomes you to Fenway Park, where Brett Saberhagen is making his warm-up tosses in preparation for his return to Major League Baseball action in Game 1 of this weekend series with the Chicago White Sox. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough. Delighted to have you with us for this much-anticipated night, a night some thought would never come, the return of Brett Saberhagen to Major League Baseball for the first time since October of 1999. One thing we know is for certain that when Brett Saberhagen is healthy, he is a very effective Major League pitcher, even at age 37. The numbers tell that story. A career record of 166 and 115, the lifetime ERA at 3.33. He's the winner of 2 Cy Young Awards and was the World Series MVP in 1985. I'm joined as always by Jerry Remy. And Jerry, even in his late 30s, with a lot of Major League experience under his belt, Saberhagen has to be a little bit nervous and emotional tonight.
I'm sure he's going to be, Sean. You know, as a former athlete, I look at what he's been through over the last couple of years, and I have nothing but tremendous amount of respect for him, because when you're injured, you don't feel part of anything, and he's at the end of his Major League career. It's remarkable that he's been able to hang around this long to make this effort here tonight at Fenway Park. I get a kick out of when he talks about, well, you know, you better come watch me pitch tonight because I don't know if there's going to be another time, and he's honest about that. He doesn't know when he goes out there. The Red Sox fans and Red Sox players and coaches certainly hope that they get the Brett Saberhagen they had a couple of years ago, because he could be a big factor down the stretch for Boston.
And his return comes at a good time. Certainly the Red Sox pitching situation these days is a bit unsettled, and the opponent a good one tonight. Opposite Brett Saberhagen, it'll be the talented 24-year-old right-hander Kip Wells with a record of 6-5, but an ERA of under 3. First pitch on a gorgeous night at Fenway Park right after this. Boston Red Sox baseball on Fox 25 is brought to you by your friendly New England Dodge dealer near you. In a perfect world, everything would be different. By Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you. By your New England Ford dealers. Visit your New England Ford dealers for the best-selling trucks on the planet. And by Southwest Airlines, celebrating 30 years of freedom. 30 years, one mission, low fares.
Well, it sure is nice in paradise. A little lonely, but, well, who do we have here? Arr, you're a real bird of paradise.
Yeah, real original. So, who are you?
Welcome back to Fenway Park, where moments ago Brett Saberhagen made his way in from the bullpen to the Red Sox dugout to a standing ovation from the fans who arrived prior to the start of tonight's game. Many good luck signs around the ballpark for Brett Saberhagen tonight. And here he is live, making his warm-up tosses, getting ready to pitch in a Major League game for the first time since the 1999 playoffs. And the lineup that he'll face for Chicago is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. The White Sox come to town with a record of 50-50. Ray Durham, the second baseman, leads off. Jose Valentin is the third baseman. Carlos Lee, the left fielder. The cleanup hitter, right fielder Maglio Ordonez. Jose Canseco is the DH. Paul Konerko, who's 6 for 10 with 3 homers in 3 games against the Red Sox this season, the first baseman. Chris Singleton in center field. Royce Clayton, who's been hot lately after a dreadful start, the shortstop. And the catcher, Mark Johnson, bats 9th. Brett Saberhagen, after one setback after another, with his first pitch of this 2001 season, And apparently the fastball was just low. 91 miles per hour on the first pitch from Saberhagen. It looked pretty good, but called a ball by the home plate umpire Eric Cooper. Ray Durham the batter, and a ball down and in. Durham at 262, 12 homers and 38 runs batted in. Saberhagen admitted he would be nervous. He made a spring training start in Fort Myers against the Minnesota Twins and said he was breathing hard in that one. That wasn't a regular season game. Jose Offman to Brian Daubach. So far so good as Saberhagen gets the first batter of the night, Ray Durham. The rest of the Red Sox defense behind Brett tonight. Manny Ramirez in left, Trot Nixon in center, and Troy O'Leary in right. Shea Hillenbrand hot with the bat lately at third base. Mike Lansing at shortstop. Jose Offman at second, Brian Daubach at first, and Scott Hatteberg behind the plate. Cooper with Jerry Crawford, Brian Gorman, and Doug Eddings, the umpiring crew. Jose Valentin takes a belt high strike. 270 for Valentin. 15 homers and 39 runs batted in. Ideal conditions for the return of Saberhagen tonight. 70 degrees at game time. And you have to look in many directions before you see a little puffy cloud. Wind out of the east, not doing much at the moment, but when it is blowing, it's been up around 12 miles per hour. An east wind unusual this time of the year, and a reason why we have the unseasonably cool temperatures. 2-2, good pitch.
Saberhagen has made 5 rehab appearances, 2 in the Gulf Coast League, 1 at Sarasota, 1 at Trenton, 1 at Pawtucket. And of course his major league debut this season tonight for the Red Sox, and right now throwing the ball well, 90-91 miles an hour with the fastball.
Valentin sends it to right, and it drops in front of Troy O'Leary, who was playing deep and then got a poor jump on the ball as that dropped in medium range right field. Ordinarily a ball you expect to be caught, but O'Leary didn't pick it up immediately.
Fastball, a line drive by Valentin. It looked like O'Leary was going to have a chance at this, but as you mentioned, Sean, he was playing deep and got a late break and plays with caution here early in the ball game. Saberhagen in his last rehab start made 76 pitches, so you would expect tonight, if things go well for him, to be up around that 90 mark.
He pitched very well last time out for Pawtucket. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, walked 1, struck out 4. Mentioned the velocity in the low 90s. Good command. Joe Kerrigan said the thing that he'll look for is if Saberhagen has good feel on the curveball and changeup. Given the limited number of rehab starts, he said sometimes those pitches take a while to come back around to develop the feel. The batter Carlos Lee having a very solid year, 293, 19 homers and 63 runs batted in. He pulls one foul. I think he got a little bit of a hanger.
So far everything has been a fastball with the exception of 2 curves. That last curveball of Carlos Lee, and also he's thrown 1 changeup. This curveball right over the heart of the plate. Lee inside, and he'll pull it foul.
Certainly not where Saberhagen meant to throw it, but he got away with it. Late swing at a high fastball. Of course, Saberhagen missed all of last year, and he did attempt the comeback trail last year. Made 7 rehab starts last year, but never did make it back to the major leagues. Every time it seemed he was making progress, there was a turn in the opposite direction. So 99 was the last season in which he pitched, and in that year he pitched very well against Chicago. 3-0 against the White Sox in 99 with an ERA of 0.87. So the last memory they have of Brett was that he shut them down.
One of the things, Sean, to point out about Saberhagen, when he last pitched, they did not have this high strike zone, and he's already got the benefit a couple of calls above the belt.
Throws to first to check on Valentin. 1-2 on Lee. One out, and Valentine at first, being held by Daubach. The outfield around toward right with a big gap in left center. Nixon in deep center. And Lee strikes out on a high fastball. He foul tipped it into the middle. Scott Hatteberg.
Saberhagen, the 91-mile-an-hour fastball again above the belt. You know, his control is usually so good that he really should be able to take advantage of that part of the strike zone. One thing we know from past games with Brett, he does not walk very many.
Valentine is running, and the pitch is a ball. The throw from Hatteberg pops out of the glove of Offerman. It's going to be a close call at second base. Matter of fact, the umpire Brian Gorman seemed to be waiting to make sure Offerman held on to the ball before making his call, which might lead you to believe he was ready to call him out. Even though he got a good jump in, it was a good pitch on which to run.
Yeah, if he catches that ball and applies the tag and holds on, he's definitely going to be out because the throw beats him there. There's the throw, but he can't control the baseball, and Valentine picks up his 8th steal of the year.
A lot of criticism throughout the year on Red Sox pitchers and catchers for the stolen bases. There's a line drive caught by Hillenbrand. A soft liner from Maglio Ordonez. And a nice play made by Hillenbrand to end the inning. So Saberhagen's out of the first unscathed after a half inning, no score. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
The all-new 200 horsepower Acura RSX.
Pedro, listen up. First off, I want you to double up your windup. I want you to do a back kick and a front kick and a pitch. Secondly, I want you to try something a little robotic. They'll be so busy looking at you doing the robot, they won't be ready for the pitch. Are you listening? When you're shaking it off sometimes, don't continue, just pitch right from there.
Pedro Martinez doesn't need help with his pitching, but he does need help improving kids' lives. So every time you buy a McFlurry at McDonald's, 25 cents will be donated to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Eastern New England.
Up, in, and around like that. Nobody's doing that today. We do it in Dorchester. All right.
Back at Fenway Park, the White Sox did not score in the first against Brett Saberhagen. The Red Sox getting ready to come to bat. Red Sox just took 2 out of 3 from Toronto. Their record now 58-43. The lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Jose Offerman, the second baseman, leads off. Scott Hatteberg, the catcher, number 2 hitter. Trot Nixon in center field bats third. The cleanup hitter, left fielder Manny Ramirez. Dante Bichette is the DH. Brian Daubach at first base, batting 6th. Then Shea Hillenbrand, the third baseman. Troy O'Leary, the right fielder, hits 8th. And Mike Lansing, the shortstop, bats 9th. He's hit .381 over his last 11 games. That's the lineup. Jimmy Williams sends up against talented young right-hander Kip Wells.
2.89 ERA. If he had enough innings to qualify, he would be second in the league in ERA. But of course, only 87 in the third innings. He was in the bullpen for a while. He'll be making his 14th start tonight. Last time against the Red Sox, 3 1/3. He gave up a couple of home runs, one to Dante Bichette and one to Troy O'Leary. Not involved in the decision in that ball game.
His first pitch of the night, a fastball that just missed to Jose Offerman at 256, 5 homers and 32 runs batted in. The third baseman Jose Valentine in on the grass with Offerman up there. Foul tip into the mid of the catcher Mark Johnson. 1-1 on Offerman. He went 2 for 13 in the series against Toronto. And grabbed some attention last night when he ran through a Gene Lamont stop sign to score the tie-breaking run to make it 2-1.
Strange play, Sean. A hit and run and a base hit to left field, and he scores all the way from first base.
Line back to the mound, knocked down by Wells, and he throws him out. It hit Wells off the right leg, it appeared, and the outside of his right thigh. Jerry Manuel, the manager, along with the trainer. They want to make sure that Wells is okay. Right off the outside of his upper right leg.
Well, he should be just fine. He got him in a spot that may get a black and blue mark, but that's probably about it. And he's smiling about it right now. Kip Wells has got good stuff. Throws hard, a moving fastball, curveball, slider, occasional change. You see the line drive getting him right off the right leg. And unfortunately for Offerman, it doesn't get that far away from him, and is able to throw him out at first base.
Couple of warm-up tosses just to make sure that he's okay, and he will continue the defense behind Kip Wells. You have to watch out for this outfield. Good arms out there with 26 outfield assists, second most in the majors. The Cincinnati Reds lead the majors in outfield assists. Carlos Lee, Chris Singleton, and Maglio Ordonez from left to right. Jose Valentin, Royce Clayton, Ray Durham, Paul Konerko in the infield, and Mark Johnson behind the plate. One out. The base is empty. No score in the first, and Scott Hatteberg took a strike. .254 the average of Hatteberg. 2 homers and 16 runs batted in. There's another well-hit ball. This one in for a hit. Chased by Ordonez all the way to the wall in the right field corner. Hatteberg into second. He'll stop there with a double. Hatteberg has 46 hits on the year now, and 19 of them have been for extra bases. That's his 17th double, and he has a couple of homers.
Well, he's really done a nice job too, hitting at number 2 spot in the batting order. Looked like a little cut fastball or slider that time to Hatteberg, and down in that right field corner. A nice play though by Ordonez to dig the ball out. He played the Karen very well, and that keeps Hatteberg at second base with the double.
So 2 well-hit balls to start the game for the Red Sox. Hoffman hit the smash back to the mound off the leg of the pitcher. And now Hatteberg with the ringing double to right. And here's Trot Nixon at .280 with 16 homers and 51 runs batted in. He hit in all 3 games of the Toronto series just concluded. Went 4 for 11 against the Blue Jays. Red Sox winners last night to conclude the season series with Toronto. They took 12 out of 19. The 1-0 to Nixon. Remains to be seen how much longer Nixon will be the center fielder. Carl Everett has returned to the team after a rehab stint in the minors, and it's quite possible that he'll be activated in time for tomorrow's game 2 of this series. There's Everett in uniform tonight, but not on the active roster. And if that is the end, at least in the short run of Nixon's stint in center, he did a terrific job.
Yes, he did. He played a great center field. He gets a terrific jump on the ball, reads the ball well off the bat. He's got a strong throwing arm. And my guess is he'll be moved back to right field. We saw Everett prior to the ball game tonight working out in center field, so I don't think there's going to be a change in plans. I think when Everett's activated, he'll be back in center field.
Wells behind now 3-0, and he throws a strike at the knees. Wells, 24 years old, from Missouri City, Texas. He attended Baylor University, was a first-round draft choice in June of 1998, the 16th player taken in the entire draft. Drafted back in '95 by the Milwaukee Brewers, but did not sign. Nixon hits one high and deep to left, way back and off the top of the wall. Hatteberg in to score. Nixon has a double, and the Red Sox lead 1-0.
Well, since Nixon has been in the 3 spot in the batting order, he's really started to pile up the RBI. 52 RBI now on the season. The 4-game hitting streak. The way Carlos Lee watched this ball, it looked like he thought it was going to be a home run. It's high off the wall, and the Red Sox have the 1-0 lead. You see Kip Wells, he's, I think, a little upset with the way Lee played that ball off the wall.
Yeah, it was almost like he's saying, get it. 21st double for Nixon. Yeah, I thought when the ball was hit, it might just be a deep fly to left. and threatened the wall, but as you said, the way Lee played, looked like it was going to be a home run. It was somewhere in between, 3/4 of the way up on the wall. Now here's Ramirez. Takes first pitch fastball for strike one. Manny at 326. He's put together a 7-game hitting streak. Moved back up to 5th in the American League in batting average. He leads the league in homers with 32 and runs batted in with 95. He's tied with Jim Thome of Cleveland for the home run lead. He's 4 ahead of Brett Boone in the RBI race. He's 31 points behind the league's leading hitter Roberto Alomar of Cleveland. Strike on the inside corner. Manny had a big home run for the Red Sox last night. A 2-run homer, his 9th against Toronto this season, including some mammoth shots. Mentioned the 7-game hitting streak overall. In the last 6, he's at 476 with 4 homers. He's hit in 17 of his last 21 games. He takes the ball high. Two balls, 2 strikes, still just 1 out. Nixon at second. Hatteberg in on the back-to-back doubles by Hatteberg and Nixon. Big swing and a miss. Ramirez goes down swinging for the first strikeout of the night for Kip Wells.
Everything hard from Kip Wells. Even that curveball was a hard curveball to strike out Ramirez.
The designated hitter, Dante Bichette.
Manny now with 106 strikeouts on the season, among the league leaders in that category. Matter of fact, he's second behind ex-teammate Jim Thome. Thome with 109. But he and Thome right at the top of the list in home runs.
Tied for the league lead. Here's Dante Bichette. He lines one toward the gap in right center. That'll be in for a hit. Ordonez backhands it, then slips for a moment. On to score Nixon. Another double for the Red Sox. This one by Bichette, and it's 2-0.
Well, one thing that has been very big for the Red Sox on this homestand have been 2-out base hits. A couple of games ago, every run they scored was with 2 outs, and here's another one. Dante Bichette taking that fastball down and away, covers the whole plate, and shoots the line drive in the gap in right center field. Bichette picks up his 40th RBI of the season and gives the Red Sox the 2-0 lead.
A 6-game hitting streak now for Bichette. He's now 7 doubles away from 400 doubles in his career. He's in scoring position for Brian Daubach. He takes a strike. 268 for Daubach. 16 homers, 51 runs batted in. And Jimmy Williams talks about how key to good offense is the ability to come up with the hit with
another guy in that clubhouse right now. He may not be on the bench yet, but he's probably saying, why can't I get runs like that when I'm pitching? Pedro.
Yes. Number 45. 6 men in a row have reached for the Red Sox. Hatteberg started this 7-run inning with a double. He scored the first run. It's 3-1. You have to think if Wells loses Hatteberg, he might be headed for an early shower. Chop foul. Wells has some friends and fans in the stands here tonight. In 1997, he pitched for the Brewster Whitecaps in the Cape Cod League. And as you might know, players in that league live with families on the Cape and work other jobs during the day and playing the ball games at night. And Kip lived with the Ryan family, and Gene and Tim Ryan are here watching Kip tonight. Hoffman runs. Hatteberg bangs one to the left. Hoffman's going to try for third, running with 2 outs. The throw, and Hoffman's thrown out. So he got away with a gamble last night. This gamble doesn't pay off, and it's probably the only reason Wells survived the inning. After that hit, he was likely to get the hook. The Red Sox run into the final out. They'll take it. 7 runs across. They lead 7-0.
Honey, my legs are numb. Shh. Come on, this is embarrassing.
You know what's embarrassing? Paying $1,900 to go to your mommy's house. That's embarrassing.
Okay. How is
Bino tonight after the game on Fox 25 News at 10. A rough first inning, as a matter of fact. The 7 runs against Kip Wells, the most runs the Red Sox have scored in a first inning this season. Most since September 5th of last year, when the Red Sox put 7 on the Oakland Athletics in the first inning in a game here at Fenway Park. Brett Saberhagen walked off the mound 26 minutes ago. He comes out with a fastball for strike 1. To Jose Canseco, back in the major leagues with the White Sox. And off to a good start with Chicago so far. .295, 6 homers, and 15 runs batted in 25 games. One and one now on Canseco. Paul Konerko and Chris Singleton due to follow. Saberhagen gave up a hit to Valentin in the first, a single, struck out 1, faced 4 batters, and did not allow a run in the first.
Canseco last night hit his 452nd home run. That ties him with Kyle Yastrzemski for 22nd on the all-time home run list. Dave Winfield would be next for Canseco. He had 465.
Jose was 3 for 3 in that game last night in Cleveland, as the White Sox won 5-4 to split a 4-game series with the Indians. Pop fly in shallow right, caught by O'Leary. 1 out. Canseco had been playing for the Newark Bears in New Jersey in the Independent Atlantic League, waiting for a shot with the major league team when the White Sox signed him back on June 20th.
It's funny, after that pitch, Saberhagen looked in toward the Red Sox dugout, and probably looking at David Cone. He made the motion up like he wanted to get the pitch a little bit higher than it actually was. I'm sure those two guys are going to do a lot of talking over the next a month and a half.
Paul Konerko took a ball inside. He's hit in 7 straight games, raising his average to .277. 22 homers for Konerko, 60 runs batted in. He's their team leader in home runs.
There you see Saberhagen after the pop-up. Now he peeks in the dugout at somebody. He's talking about, the location of the pitch.
Well, we started to talk about it during the 7-run Red Sox first, the similarities between Cone and Saberhagen. Similar in age and experience. Line to right by Konerko and caught by O'Leary. And both very well respected by their teammates as being great clubhouse presences. And Red Sox players talk about how Cone is in the dugout every night, even when he's not pitching, very involved in the game, keeping other guys involved in the game. And the Red Sox could use guys like this.
And for those guys to be able to take that role in the clubhouse, they have to feel like they're part of things. They have to be successful. Cone has got to that point with the Red Sox now. They're a little bit more vocal in things they'll say. Saberhagen has been away all season. He's got to come back here and pitch and prove that he can win, and he's the exact same way. They're really a pleasure to have around.
Saberhagen says he's really stuck around with a chance at one more ring. Cone, of course, didn't want to go out with the down note of last season when he went 4-14 with the Yankees.
You know what's great about them, Sean, is they love the heat. They love the pitch in this type of an atmosphere.
Some guys run away from the bright lights and the spotlight, but not these two. They thrive on the big market atmosphere, the intense fan interest, the media attention. And you wonder why any players ever struggle with those sorts of things when you see how these two handle it. But it's part of their makeup that isn't necessarily a part of other people.
They're not afraid to say they stink when they stink. I mean, they pitch poorly. They say they pitch poorly. No excuses.
The 2-1 pitch. is ball 3 to Singleton.
And of course the winning, and we've talked about this a lot in our broadcast, but the winning becomes much more important to older players on their way out.
A pop-up. So no problems for Saberhagen after the long stint in the dugout. Ramirez comes in and calls Lansing off it to make the catch. 1-2-3 12-pitch inning for Saberhagen. After an inning and a half, 7-0 Red Sox. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
Strange things are happening on the graveyard shift when cops chase a biker who runs out of road. Get your hands in the air! Cops.
Saturday at 8 on Fox 25.
The 2001 Honda Clearance. It only happens once a year, and it's gone before you know it. Well, you get the message. Come on, seize the moment.
Iced coffee. A refreshing change of pace. Stop by today and buy 2 pounds of coffee for $8.99. Get other coffee deals at DunkinDonuts.com.
A curse on the Red Sox? Come on.
It's so stupid.
Some fans say we're still paying for getting rid of Babe Ruth.
The Babe from afar is coming back to haunt them.
See what's behind all the Sox superstition.
After 86, I'd believe in anything.
Is there really a curse of the Bambino?
Wake up the dumb Bambino and have me face it.
Tonight after the game on Fox 25 News at 10.
The injury report is brought to you by Tufts Health Plan. Like the players on this list, we're always looking to get better, and tonight we'll highlight Carl Everett with that knee strain. Played some rehab games down in Florida. Got a chance to play a full game in the outfield yesterday. Returned to the Red Sox today, and probably will be activated for the ball game tomorrow here at Fenway Park. So Carl Everett expected back in the lineup, I would say, within a day.
So the Red Sox will have to make another roster move. They've been busy the last few days, and today they called up Casey Fossum, at whom you're looking, a 23-year-old left-handed pitcher from AA Trenton. And Pete Shurik was designated for assignment. So there's Fossum, who's pitching very well at Trenton. Texas A&M. Going to work out of the bullpen for a while. He was a starter down in Trenton. Trod Nixon, the leadoff man here in the second against Kip Wells, who gave up 7 runs on 8 hits and a walk in the first inning. Might not have survived the inning if not for Offerman being thrown out at third to end the inning. Nixon doubled to drive in a run and scored in the first. He sends that one to right. It stays in the air for Ordonez. 1 out.
Jimmy was talking about the Shurik move prior to the ball game today, and it was a tough one for him to make because he personally liked Pete Shurik a lot. Many times in the last couple of years, he took the ball knowing that he was hurt and gave him a stop when he had to, and it was a tough thing to do. He feels like the ball club's better right now with Fossum here, but not an easy move for Williams to make, and he talked about how tough it was to do that because he really did like Pete Shurik a lot.
I think just about everybody did. We certainly did.
Yeah.
And do. Manny Ramirez struck out swinging in the first. 1 strike on Manny. When you're designated for assignment, of course, there's a possibility that Pete could go down to Pawtucket, but chatting with Dan Duquette before the game tonight, that didn't seem very likely. There might be another team or two interested in Pete to scoop him up.
Yeah, I think the teams will wait 10 days and then they'll go ahead and somebody will sign him.
Manny letting it fly and missing again. To make room for Saberhagen on the roster, Carlos Castillo was optioned back to Pawtucket after the game last night. And that was a surprise to some. Some suspect it would be Tomowoka. But Jimmy Williams says right now he wants Oka around because he wants somebody who might be able to give them a long stint out of the bullpen in the event they need a lengthy start. Lengthy relief appearance, I should say.
Well, if they activate Everett tomorrow, there's going to have to be another move made for Everett. It might be a pitcher that goes, and within the next few days, there'll be another move with Nomar Garciaparra returning.
Nomar continuing his rehab tonight in Indianapolis. We'll give you an update as soon as we get it. So far, so good for Nomar in Indianapolis. That game gets underway in about 12 minutes. For Pawtucket, the ball high, 2-2. Could be Sunday for Nomar, could be Tuesday with an off day Monday. That might make the most sense. Give him another day of rest and cut him loose in the next series. But hey, if he's ready to go, throw him in there. Ramirez strikes out. So Wells had a very tough night, but not against Manny. He's fanned him twice. Both strikeouts for Wells have come against Ramirez.
Looks like the cut fastball here is moving away from Ramirez for the strikeout. He mentioned Wells throws hard. That well over 90 miles an hour. You know, getting back to that Nomar point, I say activate him and play Sunday, because then if you don't, he's got 3 off days without facing live pitching, and he's into a groove now where he's played, 3 or 4 days in a row. You might want to keep that going.
Sure. That's probably what they'll do, assuming everything checks out fine after tonight's game. Here's Bichette, who doubled and scored in the first. 7-0 Boston. Red Sox sent 11 men to the plate in the first. Now Wells trying to have a 1-2-3 second. We mentioned Wells in the Cape League in '97, and he pitched very well for Brewster. Had an ERA of under 2 that summer, and was named the league's outstanding pro prospect. And the family with which he stayed, the Ryans, sent us a note before the game tonight saying that he is just a terrific young man. Foul ball, and they really enjoyed their time with Kip Wells. Aaron Rowand, who's a rookie up with the White Sox, was also on that Brewster team that same summer. They had a ceremony here the other night with the Cape League folks. Year after year, they continue to put on a great show down there in the Cape. Great experience for these young men, and many, many of them have gone on to the major leagues, including Wells. That's ripped into center and caught by Singleton. So Wells does have a bounce back 1-2-3 second. After 2, 7-0 Boston. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
Up to $2,000 on a Dodge Ram or Dodge Dakota? Nice. Up to $5,200 in finance savings on a Ram? Oh, yeah.
Save big at the Team Dodge sales event.
Clarendon goes to bat for Mike Piazza.
Mike Piazza doesn't worry about sneezing. He doesn't worry about a runny nose or itchy, watery eyes. Because Mike knows that just one Claritin relieves all those things for 24 hours. Without making him drowsy, Claritin has a low occurrence of side effects such as headache, drowsiness, fatigue, and dry mouth, similar to sugar pill.
Just a walk in the park.
Talk to your doctor about Claritin.
During the Mercury 2001 clearance, get 0.0% financing on every Sable in stock. Zilch 0.0% on Sable LS Touring Edition with no-charge leather seating surfaces, moonroof, and ABS. Diddley 0.0% on Sable with the government's highest crash test rating. Not 0.0% on Sable Sedan and the versatile Sable Wagon. But hurry, before these offers are gone. 0.0%. See your Mercury dealer now.
Red Sox baseball continues on Fox 25. Jim Bates. It's my dad's 75th birthday. Show this Sunday. I don't have to buy a card. All right. Happy birthday to Jim's dad, also named Jim. We also want to wish Coach Carey, one of our fine tape operators, a happy birthday. Ted celebrated a Birthday yesterday, number 42. I would have guessed he was a little older than that, wouldn't you?
No.
Royce Clayton, the batter, against Brett Saberhagen. He's coming off a 12-pitch, 1-2-3 second. So far, just one base runner against Saberhagen in 2 innings. Jerry, you mentioned at the top of the telecast, when he's been healthy, even in his stints with the Red Sox, when he's come through one arm problem after another, he's been very effective. It seems like he can go away for long stretches of time. It almost seems like his arm's going to fall off, but then when he gets back on that major league mound, he just resumes winning. And if he could do that for this Red Sox team, it would be a huge lift.
Even if at times they have to give Saberhagen maybe an extra day or two between starts, it would be certainly worth it. I mean, this guy, what we've seen in the past, I mean, he knows how to pitch, he throws strikes, he knows how to set up hitters. Yeah, when you left spring training this year, you felt like maybe we've seen the last of Brett Saberhagen. And I think maybe himself, he felt that way. Right around the All-Star break, they made the decision they were going to push him a little bit, as you see his career numbers with the Red Sox. And they got him going on those rehab starts, and things progressed to a point where he had that final good win at Pawtucket, and now back at Fenway.
One-two pitch up and in. I mean, just look back. 1996, he was the property of Colorado, missed the entire year. Comes to the Red Sox in 97, bounces around the minors, gets into 6 games with the Red Sox and had limited success. But then in 98, he pitches a complete season with the Red Sox, goes 15-8. 99, 10-6, but then the arm troubles come back. He misses all of last year with the exception of 7 rehab starts in the minors. Never did make it back to Boston.
Has more surgery.
Yes, more rehab starts. Extended spring training, all kinds of time. I mean, he's been at every one of those fast food places in Fort Myers. And you have to be there 4 or 5 years to get them all. And Clayton is called out on strikes.
Sean, that's what I was talking about earlier. He's going to like the strike zone because Saberhagen has the ability with that over-the-top fastball to use the high strike to his advantage. And he's already done it a number of times in this ball game today. Now, the last time he pitched, that's not a strike.
So that's 6 in a row retired by Saberhagen. It's the only base runner of the night for Chicago. Valentine on a single in the first on the ball that probably should have been caught. And here's Mark Johnson, the number 9 hitter, the catcher, 286, 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. Breaking ball dropped in nicely. Fewest walks per 9 innings. Saberhagen, number 1 among active pitchers, just ahead of Rick Reed of the Mets and Brad Radke of Minnesota. And Brett's had excellent control tonight. He threw a first pitch strike to 6 of the 9 hitters on his first tour through the Chicago batting order.
The encouraging thing, his fastball 90-91. He's thrown all his pitches. He's thrown his curveball, and he's also featured the changeup.
Oh boy, ring him up and end the inning. Fastball apparently just off the outside corner. It's 1-2.
Well, you'd have to say Johnson's still fortunate to be standing at home plate.
That's one that easily could have been a strike. And that one is low. Of course, back in 1994, Saberhagen had the amazing year when he won 14 games for the Mets and walked 13 batters the whole year. Had more wins than walks. A pop-up. It's playable for Daubach along the line. In foul ground, he makes the catch. 2 down.
See, those pitches there, Sean, are by design. He tried to go up and in a couple of times to jam Johnson with that high fastball, and he's hitting his spots, which is the remarkable thing to me when you've had so little a game action, how you're able to have that type of pinpoint control. You see Hatterberg set up inside. He wanted the high fastball inside, and that's exactly where Saberhagen put the baseball.
So 2 down, and here's Ray Durham, who takes the ball just inside. Durham grounded out as the first batter to face Saberhagen in a real live major league game since 1999. Good changeup. We mentioned the more wins than walks for Saberhagen in '94. It really is one of the more remarkable feats in Major League Baseball pitching history. He was the first pitcher to do that since 1919 in the major leagues, over a season in which the pitcher pitched at least 150 innings.
It is incredible.
94, 14 wins, 13 walks. He struck out 143. The 1-2 pitch to Durham is high. It eludes the grasp of Hatterberg. Saberhagen, now 37 years old, born in Chicago Heights, Illinois, went to high school out in California. Chopped over the mound. Offerman throws him out. Another 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen. He's retired 8 in a row, and the Red Sox lead 7-0 in the third.
Yeah, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Jerry there.
Yeah. How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? So what's going on?
You don't want to know.
What kind of mom deserves a visit from a nurse at home after she's had a baby? The rich and famous? Nope. Every mom. First time, third time, adoptive. You just have to belong to Tufts Health Plan. Jack's my first. I was so nervous when I got him home. Then the nurse came by. She examined Jack. She examined me. Answered all my questions. Tufts Health Plan is the only one that offers this for every mother. You gotta love a health plan that knows moms need little babying too.
Tufts Health Plan, dedicated to a higher standard.
So I'm coming home one weekend and I'm running on fumes, so I pull over to fill up. But of course I can't find my wallet, right? So there I am, like 80 miles from home and about 100 from school, and I'm looking under the seat and in the glove compartment for some change, and I pull out like a handful, but it was enough to get me home.
Fox 25 and McDonald's congratulate the winners of the Disney Word of the Game contest. They are Paula Bar-Jarris from Pelham, New Hampshire, and Pauline Cardoza from New Bedford, Massachusetts. They've each won an incredible trip for 4 to Walt Disney World. Congratulations, and thanks for playing the Sox on Fox 25 Word of the Game contest. The word of the game tonight, Saberhagen. So far a triumphant return for Brett. These fans have waited 22 months to welcome back Brett. That's how long it's been since he last pitched in a major league game. You think of all of the medical attention, all of the rehabbing, the exercises that he's gone through during that span to get back here tonight. Brian Daubach walked and scored one of the 7 runs in the first inning. Wells faced 11 men in the first, then pitched the 1-2-3 second. That's out of play to the left. 1-1. So no more David Wells or Cal Eldred or James Baldwin in this White Sox rotation. Right now their rotation is Kip Wells, Mark Burley, who's pitched very well. He's 21 years old. He's going to pitch tomorrow. John Garland moved out of the bullpen in the starting rotation. He's 21. You saw Danny Wright warming up earlier, just up from the minors. They think he's going to be a starter. He's 23. Konerko to Wells for the out. The old man in the rotation right now is Sean Lowe, and he recently came out of the bullpen. He's 30. This is a very young starting staff for Chicago. Let's pause for station identification on the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
You're watching WFXT Fox 25 Boston, home of the Red Sox.
Sean McDonough, Jerry Remy, our producer Russ Ken, director John Wilson, associate producer Dave Corris, Bob Quad, Dave Baum, and Rob Stein assisting us here in the booth. Wells the ball low to Shea Hillenbrand, who lined a single on the right, drive in a run, and he scored in the 7-run first. The White Sox yesterday traded veteran right-hander James Baldwin to the Los Angeles Dodgers for 3 minor leaguers. And that had the Chicago media wondering if Jerry Manuel and the general manager Kenny Williams were waving the white flag. Apparently they're concerned about the well-being of Wells. I wonder if that leg is stiffened up if they took the line drive to start the game.
It's quite possible, Sean. There's no indication of any arm problem that maybe he'd be having. See him trying to stretch out there, and you're right, he's stretching that quad out pretty much in that area where he got hit by Jose Offerman.
Well, there's no reason to take a chance with Kip Wells in a game like this, already behind 7-0. And he's one of your bright stars of the future, you hope, if you're Jerry Manuel.
The thing you worry about here is if you change your delivery because of the injury, then you end up hurting your arm. There's the shot by Offerman back in the first inning. A lot of padding where it hit, but again, if it stiffens up and you change it delivery to home plate, you have a very good chance of maybe causing an arm injury.
Wells and Manuel continue chatting. They're going to let him stay in. They'll continue to watch him closely, undoubtedly. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Boston Red Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. In addition, the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox. The 2-0 to Hillenbrand is low. Troy O'Leary on deck. We're mentioning that Kenny Williams, the GM of the White Sox, and Jerry Manuel both say they're not waving the white flag despite trading away the veteran James Baldwin. They save about $2 million in salary by trading away Baldwin, who pitched pretty well lately, but Manuel and Williams said it's time to look at some of these young guys, and they think that these younger guys are going to pitch every bit as well as James Baldwin was.
Saw Baldwin pitch last week against the Red Sox, and for me, even though he got better as the game went on, he still is not the James Baldwin prior to the operation that he had. Now maybe a year from now he may be back to his old self, but I don't think that he's throwing in anywhere near right now what he did prior to the injury, and the Dodgers are really taking a chance picking him up.
The Dodgers have had a lot of injuries in their starting rotation, so they need somebody. And Baldwin's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. It wasn't likely the White Sox were going to keep him. Troy O'Leary, the batter, he singled in the left to drive in a run in the first. The ball in the dirt. Baldwin reportedly is going to be asking for a 5-year contract between $40 and $50 million in the offseason. Good luck to him. There's a 4-6-3 double play, and that ends the inning. The score after 3, the Red Sox 7, the White Sox nothing. This is the Fox 25 Red Sox television network. Now let's check in with Kerry Lee Halkett and Curtis Jackson at the Fox 25 news desk.
Thanks, Sean. Tonight on Fox 25 News, 5 people are hurt after a collision on a roller coaster at a New England park.
A plane leaving Logan Airport forced to turn around moments after takeoff. What went wrong?
He plays the ferocious villain in the new movie Planet of the Apes. Nemwa talks to the man behind the makeup.
Curtis and Kerry Lee, it is a gorgeous night for baseball. I've got the all-important weekend forecast.
Thanks, Kim. I'm Kerry Lee Halkett.
I'm Curtis Jackson. We'll see you at Fox 25 News at 10 after the game.
Wireless. It's my morning coffee in a thermos, not a styrofoam cup. Wireless is a conference call into the stars. It's information in a breast pocket, not a file cabinet. Wireless is catching a big fish and a small fish at the same time. I can see wireless, and I like what I see. AT&T Wireless, your world close at hand.
Most towing capacity, highest payload rating, roomiest cabs available, biggest diesel in its class. Combined, they make up the Ford Super Duty, the truck that outsells Chevy and Dodge combined. Get $1,000 commercial bonus cash on Ford Super Duties at your New England Ford dealer.
Time now to go around the bases, brought to you by Budweiser. With the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer, this Bud's for you. Well, the big news today in Major League Baseball, Fred McGriff finally agreed to waive his no-trade clause, and he was traded by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays to the Chicago Cubs for right-handed pitcher Manny Ibar, and a player to remain to be named later. So McGriff makes the jump from Tampa Bay, last place team in the American League East, to the first place Chicago Cubs of the National League Central. Brett Saberhagen's first pitch of the fourth, fouled back by Jose Valentin. He has the only hit and is the only base runner so far against Saberhagen. He singled into right in the first. Since then, Brett's retired 8 in a row. Of course, they first tried to acquire McGriff 2 weeks ago, did the Cubs, and McGriff said he wouldn't go, wanted to stay in his hometown of Tampa, didn't want to leave his family. But the Cubs and Devil Rays kept the deal alive, hoping that McGriff would change his mind, and finally he did. McGriff didn't say why, but Andy McPhail, the Cubs general manager, says that McGriff finally just realized that this was the best thing for him. The Cubs trying to hold off the Houston Astros in the National League Central. Swing and a miss. Tampa Bay also threw in about $1 million to the Cubs in that deal. And meanwhile, Saberhagen continues to cruise right along. That's 9 in a row for Brett. He's struck out 3 tonight.
2 of the strikeouts on the fastball. That one to Valentin, the changeup down and away. In the meantime, McGriff, there was also some talk about the possibility of him going back to the Atlanta Braves.
One strike the count on Carlos Lee, who struck out swinging in the first. Red Sox lead 7-0. They had a 7-run first, and Saberhagen has been terrific. I mean, had O'Leary not misjudged that fly ball in the first inning, Jerry, we'd be talking about a perfect game through 3 1/3 innings for Saberhagen right now.
Yeah, he's been just about perfect. He's even got Pedro out on the bench watching him right now, and it's early for Pedro to be on the bench.
The 0-2 fastball just outside. Yankees are in Toronto tonight. It's chopped up the middle. Offerman to Daubach for the out. In that game up in Skydome, the Yankees and Blue Jays are tied at 1 in the 4th inning. Mike Messina and Chris Carpenter, the starters. The Red Sox 2.5 games behind New York in the American League East.
Right fielder, Meglio Ordonez.
It's also a very tight wild card battle right now. Cleveland would have the wild card lead by a half game right now over the Red Sox. Cleveland's in action tonight at Detroit. They're the wild card standings. Cleveland leads 3-0 in the 4th inning tonight in Detroit. Another fastball for a strike to Ordonez. 0-2.
That last fastball from Saberhagen, 93 miles an hour. Got a little pop on it.
Ordonez pops it up. Dahlbach has room. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen. He's retired 11 in a row. The White Sox have had one base runner in 4 innings, and many of the fans on their feet as Saberhagen heads to the dugout with a 7-0 lead.
Honey, my legs are numb. Shh. Come on, this is embarrassing.
You know what's embarrassing? Paying $1,900 to go to your mommy's house. That's embarrassing.
Okay. How was I supposed to know that travel website only listed some of the airfares?
Who's not supposed to be talking? You.
That hurts.
Don't let a travel website lead you in the wrong direction. Go to Southwest.com, where now you get up to 66% off our 14-day advance fares when you purchase by July 30th.
You are now free to move about the country.
When you hear,
Who wants cheese on their hamburger?
are you willing to risk life and limb for that taste you love? Well, then you, my friend, are one of the cheese people. And you're going to love Wendy's new Cheese Lovers Bacon Cheeseburger. It's a slice of American, Swiss, and creamy cheddar with hickory smoked bacon. Wendy's new Cheese Lovers Bacon Cheeseburger.
How's the shoulder?
It's okay. A cheeseburger for the cheese people.
Lunch, anyone?
Remember Wendy's pickup windows over till 1 a.m. so you can eat great even late.
The all-new 200 horsepower Acura RSX.
Bottom of the 4th, Red Sox have a 7-0 lead. The Greater Boston Food Bank and the Red Sox are teaming up to fight hunger in Eastern Massachusetts. Participate in the 10th annual Red Sox Wise Food Drive by bringing nutritious, non-perishable canned foods to Fenway Park tomorrow and Sunday. The Red Sox Wise will be collecting food and accepting donations to benefit the food bank at the gates prior to both games. For more information, call 617-427-5200.
The Dirt Dogs. The nickname's starting to catch on, but other people apparently have beaten you to the T-shirts and that sort of thing.
Yeah, some gentleman sent some T-shirts to the booth yesterday, and I guess to a few of the players, and having a bunch of them made up, I guess, for the players. So the Dirt Dogs
could be here to stay.
My fault too. I blew it.
Yeah, you said somebody ought to make T-shirts. We ought to make T-shirts, and
That's
then
right.
we were out on the road, and someone else is making T-shirts.
My T-shirt would be a little bit different, though. Instead of just solid white, there'd be dirt mixed in.
Oh, that's nice. Actual dirt?
Actual dirt.
That would be expensive to make, wouldn't it?
Well, you could maybe have some color that looks a little bit like, you know, dirty shirts.
You think those would sell?
Right now, the Red Sox, anything is sell.
Yeah, that's for sure. Mike Lansing, the leadoff batter. Kip Wells still out there. Again, he's grabbing at his right leg after he threw that pitch. But he got Lansing on a ground ball to second. One out here in the bottom of the 4th. There's Pedro Martinez. And this is on tape in the dugout.
Number 30, the second baseman.
Break between innings.
Jose Offerman.
A lot of discussion the last day or two about when Pedro might be back. Apparently Dan Duquette indicated on ESPN the other night that Pedro could be back within 2 weeks, and Pedro said he thought that was a little optimistic.
Well, all he's done so far, other than normal conditioning and strengthening the shoulder, he's played some long catch. He has yet to throw off a mound. He has yet to throw batting practice, and he's yet to throw in a rehab game. So it seemed unlikely that 2 weeks would be the timetable. He's been in good spirits, so things must be feeling better for him. And I know the sessions that he's played long catch have gone very well. So, but you know, this is way at the beginning of the process.
Bounding ball down to first. Konerko on the Wells for the out. The Red Sox haven't had a hit since the first inning when they had 8 hits. 2 down here in the 4th.
Maybe what Dan was saying the 2 weeks is maybe when you could expect him to possibly be on the mound throwing batting practice or in a rehab game.
Number 10,
it seemed unlikely that he would be pitching for the Red Sox in 2 weeks.
Scott Hatterberg.
There's a few Cy Youngs running around in that dugout, aren't there?
Yes.
Pedro, Saberhagen, Cone.
Scott Hatterberg takes the ball. What an amazing season Cone is having. 6-1 now.
Got a kick out of the other night when he pitched here at Fenway, and they gave him a tremendous ovation when he left the ball game, and he was caught in between. You know, should I tip my cap or should I? You know, the old time guys don't generally like to do that. That was not the thing that you did back in the day, but it's become more of an accepted part of the game now. And he said, what the heck, I might as well. And
out of play to the left. Well, don't you think the fans appreciate it when they know the player appreciates the response?
Absolutely. But that was always looked at in the past as showing up the opposition.
It shouldn't be.
And you know, like the high fives around home plate and curtain calls after home runs.
Hatterberg had 2 hits in the first. It was on his single to left that Hoffman was thrown out trying to go from first to third to end that inning.
It's like in football, Sean. I love the guy, you know, especially when they're getting beat like, you know, 35-7, and he makes a tackle and he gets up and he dances.
Yeah, that's just idiotic.
He got burned 7 times in that game. And then
yep, makes 1 tackle and jumps up and down. That's what you're supposed to do. There's a bounding ball that found its way through and a right under the glove of Konerko and past Durham as well. Looked like both of them had a good chance at it. Neither one of them came up with it. So Hatterberg's on for the 3rd time. We'll wait for the scoring on that one.
If it's a hit, Hatterberg will be 3 for 3 in the ball game. You're right. Both players had a shot at making the play, but neither did. And who can he give the error to?
Give them a half each. Well, that one took a tricky hop on Konerko.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a base hit.
Yep. Even if Durham plays it, you wonder if they would have been able to make the play at first.
Yeah, he's got to make the throw to the pitcher covering first.
Nixon took the ball in the dirt. And apparently it is a hit. So Hatterberg is 3 for 3. Nixon doubled a drive and a run and scored in the first. He fly to right in the second. 7 runs, 9 hits for Boston, no runs, 1 hit for Chicago. Neither team has made an error in the bottom of the 4th. Strike at the knees. 1-1. Wells and Saberhagen tonight. Tim Wakefield and Mark Burley, the lefty, tomorrow, and David Cone and Sean Lowe on Sunday. We have all the action for you here on Fox 25. Almost felt like the rest of our crew had to reintroduce ourselves to you since it's been all Nesson all the time here lately. We haven't had a game since last Thursday night here on the big station.
I'll tell you what, though, you didn't miss anything last weekend in Chicago. Between the games and the heat, you were better off
right here.
Right here.
Yep. 1-2 pitch is down and in.
There were 2 games in that series umpired by Cousins and Brinkman that were probably the 2 worst performances of the whole season. It's almost like they were saying, no league's going to tell me what to call. And it seemed like they were going the other way.
Yeah, they didn't want to call any strikes, just to say.
It was brutal.
Yeah. Well, those are 2 guys that should be out in the next wave when they continue to clean up the umpiring. Strike 3, good pitch on the inside corner. Wells has his 3rd strikeout. It ends the inning. The Red Sox lead 7-0 after 4. You're watching the Fox 25 Red Sox television network.
They're a breath of fresh air. These women turn heads. You can just suck 'em out.
Speak from the heart.
From now on, I'm only marrying for love. And possibly once more for money.
And show real dedication to family. Patty and Selma. Catch them in The Simpsons weeknights at 7:30 on Fox 25.
Late again for the Anderson and JB Sash commercial.
1 minute. Let's rehearse.
The Anderson name means high quality, Sal.
And energy efficient too, John. Casement, bow and bay windows, the tilt wash window, and beautiful Frenchwood patio doors.
They're always here when people need them.
Yeah, just like Billy. I'm Sal Bertolami of JB Sash and Door.
I'm Johnny Pesky of the Red Sox.
We're the window boys.
And I'm, wait.
But at JB Sash, you never wait for Anderson products.
7-0 Red Sox. The Red Sox scoring all 7 runs in the first. Brett Saberhagen. That's a lot. Just one hit. Oh, gosh.
I'll tell you, they've been creative.
Yes, they have. I was walking into the park this afternoon. Young fan had a sign. He was waiting for me to come in to sign it. A picture of the two of us. It said the Rem Dog and the M Dog. So I don't know if that's going to stick, but
they've been some good ones.
Here's Jose Canseco. Out of play to the right. Can I just call you Dog? You know how like that's kind of the cool thing that calls me now. What's up, Dog? Instead of Rem Dog, you're going to shorten up a little bit, like you're a rapper or something.
Look, with your background, you can call me anything you want. Just keep it clean. That's all.
All right, Dog. Saberhagen pitching to Jose Canseco, who flied to right in the second inning.
Hey, while we're at it, you got a nice letter from our boss's mother, who
Mrs. Kelly.
Mrs.
Yes,
Kelly, who
Pat Kelly.
We mentioned happy birthday to, I think, on the last road trip. So like anything that's coming up, happy anniversary, happy birthday to all your children.
Yes.
We'd like to wish you that because I always want to stay in good with the boss's mom.
Absolutely. Well, I talked to Greg Kelly today, the general manager of our station, and he mentioned his mom appreciated the birthday greetings, and he told me a story that indicates what a big Red Sox fan she is. They said one of Greg's children was having a birthday. This is Mrs. Kelly's grandson. It was time to have the cake and the candles, and she was in the other room watching the game, and she basically said, blow out the candles without me. I'm watching the game. I said, but it's your grandson. Well, you know all about the birthdays. A pop fly in shallow right. O'Leary makes the catch. Of course, she went in and blew out the candles, but you know that's the kind of fan she is. She wants to wait to a break in the action until they blow out the candles.
We'll have to bring mom in when it's negotiating time again.
You're calling her mom now? Like she's a member of your family. Paul Konerko, the batter. He's slide to right in the second.
Use her as an agent. Now, son, I think they're right.
That's right. Well, that would make our the general manager of our station your brother. The line is centered, but Nixon doesn't have very far to go to make the catch. 2 down. And this is almost frightening what Saberhagen is doing. They've had 1 base runner. It came with 1 out in the first on a bloop hit by Jose Valentin.
Number 12.
On a very catchable ball. And they haven't had a base runner since.
42 strikes for Saberhagen and 61 pitches. Remarkable.
He's put down 13 White Sox batters in a row. I think the thing that's amazing, Jerry, as we look at Singleton, who flied to left in the second. This guy in his late 30s, an amazing history of arm trouble, all of these rehab stints, and yet he comes back and he's throwing 92, 93 miles an hour. Most guys, when they have catastrophic arm trouble, if they come back, they're a shell of their former selves, and they certainly lose velocity. It doesn't seem that he does.
The other thing, too, Sean, watch him. He never loses sight of the target. Never takes his eye off the target.
and rarely misses that target. He's about to have another 1-2-3 inning on 3 fly balls. Ramirez the catch. What a story this is. Brett Saberhagen back in the majors for the first time since the 1999 playoffs has shut out the White Sox on 1 hit through 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder,
Jamie Bohan owns a Hyundai Sonata.
We looked at consumer ratings and all of the features that came with the vehicle.
This is Jamie's second Hyundai.
It's very luxurious, it's very dependable.
Sonata comes with the freedom of America's best warranty and more horsepower, room, and standard features than Camry, yet is priced thousands less. Just $14,999 with automatic transmission. The Hyundai Sonata. It's a lot more car. For a limited time, get the Sonata with automatic transmission at no extra charge during our summer sell-down.
The long jump, the dash. Life is like a sport, and your feet take the impact hard. But new Stride Guard insoles absorb 50% more heel impact than these Dr. Scholl's. Take more impact in stride. New Stride Guard insoles.
Finally, some good news about tires. Pep Boys has lowered prices. Get high-quality 55,000-mile Futura tires now as low as 4 for $139. Hey, when it comes to saving money, all you need to know is where to go. Pep Boys.
Presenting the all-new Mercury Mountaineer with a brilliant third-row seat. Fold it down and it disappears, yielding a cavernous amount of cargo space. Raise it and 7 adults can sit comfortably for the most third-row leg and headroom in its class. The Mercury Mountaineer. Ingenuity built cities. Now it brings you an SUV. Mountaineer with standard third-row seats starts under $30,000. Test drive one at your local Mercury dealer today.
7-0 Red Sox. You may recall that a couple of weeks ago we were at Shea Stadium in New York. Our broadcast booth was very dark, so dark that Jerry had to get out his lighter so that we could read our notes and words out of the media guide. Look at how dark that booth is. Well, we want to thank our friends at North Safety Products. We're never going to have this problem again. If it ever gets too dark, we have our miners' helmets to watch the game. A lot of Red Sox fans at North Safety Products. They're in Cranston, Rhode Island. And it really works. When you look down, you hold the light up to your notes. I can read the letter they sent us right here. They make miners' helmets in addition to other products. So thanks to Neil Comiskey, Director of Logistics and Distribution.
We look like Dukakis in
the tank.
Yeah.
Ramirez fouls one off. And the good thing about these lights is they're not overpowering. You know, sometimes we turn a light on in the booth. We're going to do it on camera during the game, and it's seen down on the field, and it causes a problem in the background. You know, not here. This is enough for our own use. We read the scorecard, and these they point down too. You can sort of aim them down or up or whatever. The 0-2 is fouled away. I kind of feel like Jerry Trupiano now because he has every kind of flashlight and gizmo over there, and I think we've one-upped him. He's jealous. Look at the look on his face. See, he's got that little lamp. Yeah, they're getting the 2000s. This is the way to go. You're going to see broadcasters around baseball with these lids. There's no question about it.
This is going to be the dumbest thing.
You need to manufacture a headset to go with this, though. It's kind of heavy on the neck. Swing and a miss for strike 3. It gets to the backstop. We can see the ball clearly in our spotlights. And the catcher Johnson found it as well. Ramirez on the strikeout. So it's the third time Manny has whiffed. But it's the first time he's reached via the strikeout. And the Red Sox get the lead man on here in the 5th as they catch a break, a strikeout on a third strike wild pitch.
It's a run that you generally don't like to make. You just made an out, you strike out, but the ball gets by the catcher and all the way down to first base. That's a good point, Sean. We could pick the ball right up with.
Oh yeah, we could probably help the Red Sox. You know, if that happened with the Red Sox behind the plate, we could point our lights right at the ball behind the screen. Hatterberg right there. Dante Bichette, the batter, and he lines one in the left. And it is off the scoreboard, out of the reach of Carlos Lee. He throws to second, not in time to get Bichette. The way Lee went after that, it looked like he was going to catch it.
Now, one thing they tell outfielders is not to drift after a ball, and it seemed like Lee, and maybe because it's the left field wall out there, you know, that you get a little intimidated from, is he got caught drifting and didn't get back in time right there to make the catch off the scoreboard. And you'll be able to hear the ball crash off the brand new scoreboard out in left field.
Yes, that scoreboard was replaced during the Red Sox last road trip. And you'd never know it, and they did a beautiful job of making it look like the scoreboard that had been out there perhaps since 1934. There's a lot of debate about whether or not that scoreboard had been tinkered with or replaced over the years. Certainly parts of it had been. All that metal is brand new. It sounded new. You could clearly hit it. I hear it as it was hit. Daubach broke his bat as he fouled one out of play to the left.
There's some talk that the old scoreboard that was taken out is going to be sent possibly to the Hall of Fame for a little while. And then what the Red Sox would like to do is incorporate the old scoreboard somehow, maybe here at Fenway in a safe spot, or at the new Fenway Park, where fans could go up and, you know, take a look at it. But this is all brand new since the last time the Red Sox were home.
Did an amazing job, didn't they? Even the Morse code there in between.
Yep, this area right here, all the same. Something about Mr. and Mrs. Yorkie, I believe, is.
I believe it's their initials.
Yeah.
In Morse code. Do you know Morse code?
No, I don't. But I know what the caucus felt like.
You know what? The helmet, though, was very helpful when you use the telestrator, because when you turn your head toward the telestrator, it really put the spotlight right on the telestrator.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Daubach takes a ball in the dirt.
See, I can also use it, Sean, to put the light on the strike zone. ESPN does that now. You know, they have that.
The K zone.
Yeah, I can put the.
Yeah, you could do that.
The light right on the strike zone.
And then we could decide what was a strike. And think of how much money you could save if you could just use a little light like this instead of the K. You know, all the thousands of dollars they spend in the K zone. We'd get the answer right here. To illuminate the strike zone.
They'll be wearing this on a national game real soon.
And you know what? Foul ball comes in the booth. We're protected. Like last night, you really botched a play.
Yeah, it was hard.
On Nesson. If we went over and took a tour of the big dig, Jerry Trupiano points out, we wouldn't have to borrow a hat. Fouled off the foot of Daubach, 1 and 2.
Terrific when you leave the park, walking to your car.
Yeah. Chase the pesky rodents away.
Sometimes by the time you're done with the close, it gets dark outside, and this would certainly help you find the car.
It's dark for me. You are already at the toll booth by the time I finish with the closed copy. Red Sox lead 7-0. They're looking for more here in the 5th inning. They're out hitting the White Sox 10-1. The White Sox have the infield in with the exception of the shortstop Clayton. And there is action again in the bullpen. Another foul ball. It's a couple times. Daubach has sent one off his own foot. Alan Embry, the lefty, in the bullpen this time. Ramirez at third, Bichette at second. Ramirez reached on a strikeout. Bichette doubled. Bichette's 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. Kip Wells with the 1-2 pitch, high and inside. Shea Hillenbrand is on deck. The Yankees have taken a 2-1 lead at Toronto. They're in the 5th inning. Fouled away. Another good use of this helmet we just discovered, Jerry. When someone walks into the booth and we turn around, we put the spotlight right on them. We know immediately if it's a friendly visitor or an enemy intruder. They get a little startled, though. They don't expect to see 2 announcers turning around with miners' helmets on.
You can't forget these next year when we go back to Shea.
No, not half to pack them. The 2-2's up and in. So Dahlbach is battled out of the hole, and now the 3-2 pitch. Just missed. Ball 4. The bases are loaded with nobody out.
Number 29, the third baseman, Shea Hillenbrand.
Shea Hillenbrand, the batter now. He's singled into right to knock in a run and scored during the 7-run first. He walked in the third. A rare walk for Shea. It's the 7th time all year he's walked. He's at 302 at bats. Fastball strike. Shea spent long stretches on the bench, and then lately he's had more of an opportunity, and he said he really tried to learn while he was on the bench, and he pointed to Darren Lewis as somebody who was particularly helpful in pointing out interesting baseball topics as they would arise. Hit softly towards second. Dahlbach tagged out. They throw to first for the double play. A run scores. Ramirez in from third to make it 8-0. No RBI for Hillenbrand because he hit into a double play.
That's a very nice play by Ray Durham, the second baseman. What you really should do is drop if you're an infield, a base runner caught in that situation. That makes the second baseman reach down for you. But Dahlbach here tries to run backwards. He'll get the tag, and then look at the quick flip to first base to get the out. Nice play by Ray Durham.
Now that's going to be the end of the night for Kip Wells, with the left-handed hitting O'Leary coming up. Jerry Manuel puts out the call to the bullpen for the lefty Alan Embry. So Wells departs after 4 2/3 innings, and the Red Sox lead 8-0.
It's gonna be a magic summer with my Toyota.
It's Toyota's Magic Summer, and you still have time to get the biggest cash back ever on Avalon. And you could save even more with projected ownership costs that are over $1,900 lower than the average in its class.
It's gonna be a magic summer.
Or get $750 cash back on 4Runner, or save thousands with special low financing. But it ends July 31st. Hurry, see your New England Toyota dealer now.
Pedro, can you win 30 games this year?
I'm not sure, but I'll give it a try.
Pedro, do you think this is the year?
We just take it one game at a time and give it 100% effort.
Hey, this is a two-part question. Did you know that the lobster roll was back at McDonald's?
Yes, I did know.
And how do you feel about that?
Hungry.
Thank you.
Delicious lobster roll is back at McDonald's, and now you get more lobster than ever for just $4.99. Plus, you can get a disposable camera with free film processing for $1.99 when you buy an extra value meal.
Here you go, kid.
Thank you.
More overall interior room than Jeep Grand Cherokee. More standard towing capacity than Ford Explorer. More horsepower in a midsize SUV than anything else in the world. We gave the all-new Chevy Trailblazer a lot more, except here. Lease the 2002 Trailblazer four-wheel drive LS for as low as $369 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for lease details. After driving one, everything else just seems kinda weak. Trailblazer at your Chevy dealer.
Here's Kip Wells, the starting pitcher, out after 4 2/3 innings. And Jerry, read those notes about Alan Embry for us.
Made 7 appearances since being with the Sox. He came over to the White Sox from San Francisco. Embry making his 8th appearance, as I mentioned, an ERA of 8.10, 6 2/3, 10 hits allowed, a couple of walks and 10 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .345 against Embry.
It's a good thing you didn't see the sign while you were reading. Troy O'Leary, foul one away. Sign said, "I only have eyes for Sean."
Oh, okay.
I have to have 1 out of 100.
You'll have no problem spotting it now.
No.
the new lid.
That seems like an appropriate phraseology, because we have eyes for a lot of people now with our spotlights. One and one the count. O'Leary grounded into a double play in the third. He singled and knocked in a run in the first. I wish I could describe the looks on the faces of Ken Harrelson and Darren Jackson in the White Sox TV booth when they looked over here at us and said, "What is that all about?"
Yeah, I can see Hawk sporting one of these with Hawk on the front.
I think it's envy. That's probably what the expression was. Great envy. See, they look naked without a miner's helmet. And they look, see the sad expressions.
Hawk usually has a nice cap on that has Hawk written in front. Second year he's worked with Darren Jackson over there in Chicago. Hawk is the man in Chicago.
Yes, he is. 1-2 pitch hit in the air and left down the line toward the corner. Into the stands. No chance for Carlos Lee. Could not be a nicer night to be out at the ballpark. Absolutely ideal conditions. And if you're a Red Sox fan, as most of these folks are, the game's been just about perfect. Another one in just about the same spot.
That was great here last night too. That humid warm weather started to get out of here yesterday, and by the time the game started last night it was cleared out and just so comfortable, and today just another spectacular day. I guess it's going to be nice all weekend.
All weekend. Don't you like that camera shot right there too? Kind of makes you feel like you're at the ballpark.
Yeah, it really does.
With a lousy seat, but at the ballpark nonetheless.
Grandstand, that would be what, about section 18 maybe?
Yeah. 16, 15, 14, somewhere there. Good pitch by Embry. He gets O'Leary to end the inning. The Red Sox get a run. And after 5, they lead 8-0.
I'm waiting for my blind date. Please, just let him be different. Someone who's shy and sensitive. Someone who's into Mozart. Somebody who's not afraid to pick a flower. Who has inner beauty. I mean, forget the looks.
The luxurious Palmful GS. It's hot.
I gotta go.
See your Boston area Lexus dealer.
Listen, I need that freeway story by noon. Not now. Come on, come on.
Yes. Sure.
You better not be dead again.
What if people treated you
Let's go.
the way you treat your car? Pep Boys treats cars right. Introducing Energizer to our quality line of ProStart automotive batteries.
All right. Who wants to give me a hand?
All you need to know is where to go. Pep Boys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in my Ford, let's go for a drive.
The Ford Authorized Clearance is here. The best time for the best deals on America's best sellers.
A little bit of fun along the way.
The fun is back and so are the deals. Now get $1,000 cash back or low 2.9 financing on all 2001 Ford Focus models, including the 4-door. That's $1,000 cash back or 2.9 financing on Ford Focus. Only during the Ford Authorized Clearance. Going on now at your New England Ford dealer.
Saturday at 8 on Fox 25. Strange things are happening on the graveyard shift when cops chase a biker who runs out of road on a special cops. Then at 9, America's Most Wanted covered his crime and hunted him around the globe. Now see what could be the dramatic end to a 24-year fight for justice. The incredible story on a special America's Most Wanted. It all starts tomorrow night at 8 on Fox 25. Oh, how's that for instant sign making? Nice hats. There's a deep drive to right off the bat of Royce Clayton. That ball's gone on the first pitch of the 6th. Saberhagen shutout bid is spoiled on just the second hit of the night for Chicago. A home run for Royce Clayton. And it's 8-1 on Clayton's 5th homer of the year.
Now, Clayton has been very solid defensively all season long, but he really struggled in the first half offensively, but has picked it up. He was hot last weekend against the Red Sox, now with a 4-game hitting streak, and picks up his 5th home run to the opposite field in that Red Sox bullpen.
He was below 200 the entire year until July 18th. That was only 9 days ago. And he came into tonight with 6 multiple hit games in his last 9, and now a homer tonight, and a bunt by Mark Johnson. Saberhagen throws, didn't get him. So after having 1 hit through the first 5 innings, the White Sox have back-to-back hits on consecutive pitches against Saberhagen. An opposite field homer, and now a bunt hit by the 9th hitting catcher.
They're trying any way to get base runners now, and this is kind of a throw that scares me more than any pitch Saberhagen would make. That off-balance sidearm throw to first base. He makes a very nice play, but not in time to get Johnson.
So Johnson's at first, and bullpen action begins for the Red Sox. Top of the order for the 3rd time, Ray Durham takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. Durham has twice grounded out to the second baseman, Jose Offerman. Hippolyto Pichardo warming up. It was another long wait for Saberhagen. 17 minutes in the dugout as the Red Sox had a long inning. There was the pitching change within the inning. The opposite field homer estimated at 395 feet for Clayton. White Sox have played well. As Jerry mentioned, they got off to the terrible start, but coming into tonight's game, Clayton and the White Sox have gone 36-21 in their last 57 games. To get them to the 500 mark. At one point, they were 15 games under 500. They were 14-29. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, the White Sox, the first team since the 1991 Milwaukee Brewers to climb above 500 after being 15 games under at any point during the season. Tapped in front of the plate. Saberhagen will make the play at first. Durham's out. Johnson's in scoring position with 1 out.
That's only the 70th pitch tonight for Saberhagen. We speculated, Sean, prior to the start of this game, that it'd be somewhere around 90 pitches. And of course, a lot of that depends too on how long he has to sit around between innings. And there have been a couple of long innings in this ballgame. I would expect that if Brett makes it through the 6th here, this would probably be the last inning for him.
Jose Valentin, the batter. He had the only Chicago hit prior to this inning, a first inning single to right, a ball high. Valentin struck out in the 4th. Saberhagen is fan 3 without a walk. 8-1 Red Sox. Popped up along the left field line. Ramirez. 2 down. Looked for a moment like Manny thought that was out number 3.
Couple of steps in toward Lansing, then got the ball to Lansing to throw it around.
I think when you look toward the infield, you realize the rest of them aren't heading for the dugout. It's probably not the 3rd out.
Hey, we've seen situations where almost the whole team has headed toward the dugout with only 2 outs. Here's Ramirez coming in to make the catch on the fly ball. Now let's see. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Tough to tell.
But what's the other option? He needed to be closer to Lansing before he could throw it to him.
Yeah, stretching his legs out a little, maybe stay loose.
Carlos Lee, the batter, he is struck out and grounded out. 8-1 Boston in the 6th. 2 outs and a man in scoring position. Fouled back. 1-1. Well, Lee is really emerging as a top outfield talent in the American League. 17 runs batted in his last 19 games. 10th in the American League in extra base hits with 45 is Carlos Lee. He pops that one up on the right side. Offerman calls off Daubach and makes the catch. 6 innings for Saberhagen, having allowed just the 1 run on the Royce Clayton home run.
This man's pursuing a lifelong dream.
Look at this, toe-to-toe.
Now, meet his worst nightmare.
Look at this, goes to the right hand again.
The champion, Roy Jones, considered one of the greatest of all time. The challenger, undefeated Julio Gonzalez. Jones versus Gonzalez, brought to you by Budweiser, the undisputed, undefeated king of beers. Because sometimes dreams come true.
Driven.
Pedro, listen up. First off, I want you to double up your windup. I want you to do a back kick and a front kick and a pitch. Secondly, I want you to try something a little robotic. They'll be so busy looking at you doing the robot, they won't be ready for the pitch. Are you listening? When you're shaking it off sometimes, don't continue, just pitch right from there.
Pedro Martinez doesn't need help with his pitching, but he does need help improving kids' lives. So every time you buy a McFlurry at McDonald's, 25 cents will be donated to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Eastern New England.
Up, in, and around like that. Nobody's doing that today. We do it in Dorchester. All right.
Back at Fenway Park, the Red Sox lead 8-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Brett Saberhagen left the mound to a standing ovation, an ovation that continued even after he was in the dugout. The fans remained on their feet and continued to cheer, realizing in all likelihood that Saberhagen's night is over, and it appears, based on the fact he took the jacket and went down the runway, that he probably is done. He was missed in many ways, but he's back. And tonight has to be characterized the triumphant return, having allowed just the 1 run in 6 innings. The opposite end of the spectrum out on the mound now, a young man making his major league debut. Danny Wright at age 23 on a major league mound for the first time.
Called up from Double-A Birmingham before tonight's game, was 7-7 at Birmingham with a 2.82 ERA, 128 strikeouts and 20 starts. Was leading the Southern League in innings pitched and ranked 2nd in strikeouts and ERA prior to the call-up.
Big right-hander, 6'5", 225 pounds. Greeted by a deep drive to left by Mike Lansing. That ball is gone. So not the way Dan Wright hoped to begin his major league career on his 2nd big league pitch. Lansing takes him into the screen to make it 9-1. Home run number 4 of the season for Mike Lansing.
It's hard to believe the Red Sox with 9 runs on the board in the first home run of the night for the Red Sox. Mike Lansing taking Danny Wright into the screen. Well, Lansing's really been hot recently. Very steady all year long defensively at shortstop. And for about the last 3 weeks, he's been swinging the bat very well.
And likely to see his playing time dramatically reduced with the anticipated return in the next few days of Nomar Garcia-Parra. Lansing 2 for 3 tonight with a double and a homer. He's driven in 1 run with each hit and has scored twice tonight. Offerman the batter. 2-1 the count. Jose 1 for 3. He singled in the first, and his 2nd at bat of the first inning when the Red Sox batted around and made the first out of the inning. Chops that to 2nd. Looked like he turned around and said something, either the umpire or the catcher, as Offerman was running down the line, almost as if he thought the ball went off his foot.
Didn't notice, Sean. I know it was a curveball from Danny Wright.
The catcher.
And we'll take one more look at it. Offerman hitting on top of the curveball. Well, you may be right. Maybe he thought it would be called a foul ball for hitting his foot.
Yeah, he turned around, said something in the direction of the umpire as he was running. He seems perplexed in the dugout, his arms outstretched. Dan Wright has his first out as a major league pitcher. And here is Scott Hatteberg, 3 for 3 tonight. There's a check swing bouncer down to third. Valentin to Konerko for the second out.
I don't have any numbers on it, but it seems like it happens a lot. A guy makes his major league debut, and the first batter he faces hits a home run against him. When John Wasden was with Oakland, I think he made his major league debut against the Red Sox, and they had a couple of home runs against Wasden.
Kind of set the tone.
Where's John Wasden now?
Baltimore, the last I knew.
That's right. That's right. And Rose went to Tampa Bay.
Yes.
And has since been sent to the minor leagues, I believe.
And Wasden had some minor league time, too. Here's Trot Nixon. He takes a strike. Nixon 1 for 3, doubled and scored. Drove in a run in the first. Well, the White Sox are very high on Wright. They anticipate he'll be in their starting rotation for a long time. As we mentioned, Kenny Williams, the general manager, said a major part of the James Baldwin trade yesterday was to give youngsters like Wright an opportunity at the major league level. A little pop fly, shallow center. Singleton has it. So Wright gets the next 3 batters after being greeted rudely by Lansing's home run after 6. 9-1 Boston.
Congratulations! You've launched the pink slip virus. Your office is now infected. They'll soon trace it to you. Good luck finding a new job. Congratulations!
Want to get away? Now you can. Just go to Southwest.com where you get up to 66% off our 14-day advance fares when you purchase by July 30th.
You are now free to move about the country.
The right thought, but the wrong gift certificate. Next time, give the American Express gift check. Instead of one place, it's good all over the place. Available at Citizens Bank.
Hey, nice rock.
My Jeep Grand Cherokee's taking me to the great outdoors.
Good idea. You'll never take that thing off-road. You should get an Isuzu Axiom. It's designed for the real world. 2 suspension modes, 230 horsepower V6 for $1,300 less. Brake lights. And it's got America's longest warranty.
Thanks.
Every night, a different approach, a different perspective. Every night, Fox 25 is bringing you a different reason to watch. Fox 25, the news is on at 10. Well, a great reason to watch tonight. They'll have the highlights of tonight's game and reaction to the performance of Brett Saberhagen, who pitched 6 innings in his first major league game since October of 1999 and allowed just 1 run on 3 hits. He did not allow a walk. He struck out 3. It was as if he had never left. He threw 75 pitches, 53 of them strikes, and now the ball is handed to Hipólito Pichardo.
28th appearance for Pichardo. The record stands at 2-0 in 30 1/3 innings, 31 hits allowed and 15 strikeouts. His last outing coming against the Blue Jays on the 25th, a couple of days ago, 1/3 of an inning in that ball game. Only made, I believe, 3 pitches in that game against Toronto.
With all of the wear and tear lately on Garces and Beck and others in the bullpen, it is thought that perhaps in the coming days and weeks Pichardo will be leaned on to give the Red Sox more innings. Ordonez chops 1 foul.
Yeah, well, certainly they've been worked very hard recently, both Beck and Derek Lowe, and they could use a day or 2 off. A game like this certainly doesn't hurt right now, where you've got a good sized lead.
You would also think, Jerry, this would be a great night to have Casey Fossum make his major league debut. He's out in the bullpen tonight, just called up today from Trenton. Certainly not a high pressure situation right now at 9-1.
Might happen, Sean, and he was scheduled to make a start tomorrow, so he's certainly well rested from his last start. He was a starting pitcher down in Double-A Trenton.
He joined us late. Casey Fossum called up today. Pete Schurig designated for assignment. The ball that runs inside on Ordonez. He is lined to third and popped out to the first baseman, Daubach. Sharply struck right through Pichardo and onto the center field. That's the fourth Chicago hit.
Ordonez now with a mini 4-game hitting streak.
Number 31.
With a 1-for-3 here tonight. Got a Pichardo breaking ball that time and hit it hard up the middle.
Here's Canseco, who was twice fly to right. How many games does the streak have to reach when it gets beyond mini?
Get up 7-8. That's a nice streak. You get over 10. That's a real good streak.
So tomorrow, if Ordonez gets a hit,
I won't call it mini.
Say it's a mini 5-game hitting streak.
Yeah.
All right. 7. You think 7?
In other words, I should dump the mini.
No. I'm just wondering. I think 4 is kind of a mini streak, but I'm just wondering when does
it just means end? For the last 4 games, he's got himself a base hit, hit the ball well,
and then do you move from mini on to something else? You know, if it reaches 7, does it become a?
I think it's just a streak.
It's just a streak. Yeah. But it could be a legitimate 7-game hitting streak.
Could call it that. Yeah.
Solid 7-game hitting streak.
Yeah, solid you'd say for maybe 10 plus.
Then we could get into lengthy, prolonged.
See, one thing we could, Jeff Torborg, who is now managing the Montreal Expos, he was a streak breaker. Every time he would come in and do a game for Fox, he would break an Omar Garcia-Parra hitting streak.
Long one.
Yeah, it didn't matter if he was on a 30-game, 15-game, 10-game, a mini 3-gamer.
Yep.
He'd break it. So I told him we were up in Montreal, I said, I'm glad Omar's not here because he wouldn't get any hits tonight because you're managing the game on the other side.
Well, it was great to see Torborg back. He's really enjoying being back in the dugout. 2-1 the count on Canseco with Konerko on deck. Pichardo tied him up and in.
Red Sox have the shift on Canseco. 3 players on the left side of the infield. Offerman just a couple of steps from second base. He'll have the responsibility of if there's a ground ball, Hillenbrand kind of making a strange pivot over there on a double play ball.
Two pitch foul to leg. Let's pause for station identification on the Fox 25 network.
You're watching WFXT Fox 25 Boston, home of the Red Sox.
Sean McDonough, Jerry Remy, and our Fox 25 crew. Delighted to be back in action here at Fenway Park tonight. Line to the left to hit. So back-to-back hits to open the 7th inning. Time now to check league leaders, brought to you by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. We're going to check the rookie batting leaders, and of course in the American League it's Ichiro, even though he's been slumping lately and is down to a tie for 3rd in the league in overall hitting. He's still first among rookies. Sean Wooten of Anaheim and David Eckstein, formerly a Red Sox minor leaguer. Shea Hillenbrand tied for 4th. And in the National League, Albert Pujols, who's just out of the top 10 league in overall hitting. Then Shinjo, Rollins, Estrada, and Wilson. Hillenbrand's average on the climb with his recent mini or slightly better than mini hitting streak. Paul Konerko is fly to right into center. How many games in a row now for Shea? I'll look it up.
Shea has now got a 5-game streak going.
Still mini, but trending toward solid. 0-1 pitch, strike at the knees. 0-2 on Konerko.
Well, the Red Sox bullpen now have to get 9 more outs in this game against a pretty good offense. And Konerko last week really destroyed the Red Sox in that series in Chicago. He was hot.
He had 3 homers.
He's got a solid streak going at 7 games.
Solid. Trying to make it 8. Slightly more solid. Outside. And my neck hurts. Those Miners helmets are heavy. Actually, no, they're not. It's just tough wearing the headset and the helmet all at the same time. 1-2 pitch. Just missed the outside corner.
I want to see Butch Stearns and Tom Zenna wear those in that Sunday show they got.
If they could save on the lighting bill back at the flagship station.
If they got any guts at all, they'll wear them.
Well, join the rapidly growing trend.
They have that neat look where they don't wear a tie. They have the, you know,
like the mock
T-shirt type with the sport coat and the Miner helmet. Look nice.
Bounce down to third. Diving stop by Hillenbrand. Throw to second in time for the out. Shea had just a little bit of a problem getting the ball out of his glove. That made it a close play at second. Konerko safe on a fielder's choice, and a nice play by Hillenbrand for the first out of the inning.
Terrific play, diving to his left on the ground ball, and he kind of dives and gets it on that in-between hop. But then you mentioned had trouble getting a grip on it. Finally does. Offerman makes himself stretch like a first baseman, and they get the force out. Ball almost popped out from the webbing of the glove past his throwing hand.
Runners at the corners, 1 out, 7th inning, 9-1 Boston. And the hitter Chris Singleton, who has twice flied to left. Ball low on Singleton.
Imagine the satisfaction that Saberhagen feels right now in that Red Sox clubhouse after all he's been through all season, all of last year. To come out and put on a performance like that, I guess it makes it all worth it.
Yeah, it has to be a great feeling, and many others, Jerry, just would have packed it in several times. He's had so many opportunities to say, hey, I've done enough and I've given it a legitimate attempt to come back, and it's just not going to happen. But he has battled back time after time.
And what happens generally is you get to a point where you've done so much rehabbing, it doesn't come around for you, and just basically you quit. You've had enough. And incredibly, he just keeps going.
And every time he comes back, even with those long stretches in between, including 22 months this time, he looks like the exact same guy the last time you saw him pitch.
Now, he made a comment a couple of years ago that, you know, why is he so motivated at this stage of his career? And his answer is to get into a World Series. He said, you know, he was in one early in his career, but he'd really appreciate one now at this stage of his career.
Chopped down the line, foul.
And when he says something like that, he's just not blowing smoke. I mean, he's talking the truth.